you need to fill out a pay app, a progress pay app. So this is after your initial pay app has gotten approved. You look at the app. You can see the pay app date on there. So let's see here. Today is the 25th. And we're going to go to the job details on here. Let's see if it's set for Monroe BOCES. Oh, it's actually the 20th. Okay, so we got to get this in. I'm a little behind. Hopefully they don't gig us on this. So, all right, what needs to happen is you're going to go to the job folders on the app, your electric job folders. I have mine right here. We'll go through it just for, I might not a quick access for these. Go into here, and then you're going to see pay apps right here. So you're going to double click pay apps. And what happens is Jess had actually copy, she takes pay app 1, copies that folder, pastes it in here. She'll put that folder in here. As long as you tell her like, hey, Jess, can you get this pay app ready for me? She'll do this all for you. But if she didn't do it for whatever reason, what you would have to do is copy this, paste it in here. You would open your pay app 1 values. In that case, you would take all the values from the total completed and stored to date, this G column, and you would paste those into the previous application column, because all that is basically saying is like totaling all of your previous applications. And then you're going to put this period, so like this will be blank. I've started filling it out already, so normally when we start that should be blank. Then you're going to start filling out your values for this month in this section right here in column E. Okay. You're going to change this number. You're also going to change the application date to today. You're going to put the period 2 to the end of the month. And then you are going to, that's really going to be it. You're going to make sure this is accurate. And if you have change orders, you need to add them in. You have to manually add them in this section down here. If you've got approved change orders, because that will increase your overall contract sum. So let's see here. Okay. All right. So we're going to start from scratch on this one. Not from scratch, but Jess has already made the pencil copy. And you're going to begin filling out this values in E. So I'm going to just pause this while I go through and fill these values out, and then we'll come back to it here in a second. But before I do that, right, if you have a question on what to bill or the errors you worked for whatever reason, you can go to the app. You can either go in project management, or you can go in the foreman section. And what you can do is you can actually review, click on the daily reports, and you can review the daily reports. And you put your job in there, and then you can see where the guys were working and what they got accomplished. So right here, this says HVC 509. It's actually mislabeled on the prints. So, but I know he's working in this section over here. So, in the north building. So when I start filling out this pay app, I'm only going to fill out the north building section for now. Okay, so I've put a lot of this data in here. The goal is you want to make sure that you can bill your project out and cover labor for the next month. So one way you could check this, you could either ask Jess kind of where the project is at, or myself, or if it's been updated recently in the app, which you'll have to double check with Jim on that, because you can go to your project cost. In the project management section, you can go to the project cost forecast. And let's see if it is. Is it Orleans? There it is. All right, so this cost is actually not up to date, because right now it's actually at it's at 114,000. And with this will be our total build only at 111,000. So we've got to see if we can bump some of this up. And usually projects in the beginning, you do end up front loading them and they're negative for a few months until you can kind of turn them around. So let's see, we've got bonding, basic materials, job supplies. Okay, we've also gotten billed on our lighting package, so we're gonna have to build that out as well. All right, so I'm gonna pause it again and fill this in, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna go over how to look at your, how to do your material presented and stored to date, this column F, what you need to do with that. And they're out today. All right, so let's see here. What do we got going on? All right. So we've got all of our stored materials, right? So these stored materials is all of the material that we are having at the shop that we've been billed for. But it's not on site. If it's on site, you can usually just put it in this period and they can verify it there. If it's in this materials present and stored to date column, you need to actually get the invoices for everything. So one way you can do that is you can go to the job app. I've got too many of these open right here. Hang on. And you're going to want to go to PO Book. You're going to want to search your job. And then you can see right here, this is your quote and receipts are all right here. And then your invoices, total amount invoiced, invoice amounts received are all right here. So you can actually open these because you're going to have to print these off and add them to the pay app. Okay, so once you get all your invoices together for your stored materials and you're going to get ready to send them over with your pay app, you are going to then just double check the procedures that they have, right? So every customer has somewhat different different way of billing out stored materials, or they might have different requirements. So the spot to actually check this is in your in the specs. So you're going to go to your job folders. You're going to go to the job you're working on, right? You're going to go to prints and specs, and then you're going to look up your payment procedures. So for me, I'm going to go stored materials. So right here, include an application for payment amounts applied for materials or equipment fabricated, stored, but not yet installed. Differentiate between items stored on-site and off-site. So you need to provide certificates of insurance, evidence of transfer of title to owner, and consent of surety to payment for stored materials. So you have to include invoices, summary documentation. It's a little bit excessive, but and they want 3 signed and notarized copies of each application for payment to construction manager. All right, so basically stored materials, they want a certificate of insurance, which you can send out to Carmen or myself, and then we can get that. And then usually they'll want some pictures, paid invoices. So usually it's just these two. It's just insurance and invoices and pictures. So I don't know if they're going to ask us to take evidence of transfer of title to owner and consent of surety for payment. We'll see. So we're going to send it over just invoices and pictures. Okay, again, back on the pay app. So from here, right, we're going to look at the areas worked. I haven't put anything in the areas that we've actually worked yet. So we know Kevin has kind of been working in the north HVAC Labs based on his daily reports. So we are going to start applying some of these values because we're still going to be a little bit under unless we can get this brought up to speed a little bit more. So he's been doing that distribution, the feeder cables in the north lab. So that's where we got to add some material and labor for this. So leave that blank actually. So again, what I'm trying to cover is we got 2 guys there for a month. So a journeyman's about 12,000. We've got an apprentice. So we want to make sure that we're able to cover the materials. This job's actual cost right now is $114,000. So this would put us at about 148, which is not bad because it's going to take about a month to get billed. So we're not going to be able to really push too much more than this. So we'll go a little bit higher just to see what happens. If they kick it back, they kick it back. But I'd rather have something in there. So, all right. So then once all this is done, what we're going to do is we are going to print this. Everything's all set. We're going to send it off. You're going to want to print the entire workbook, so make sure it covers all of your sheets in the back. You're going to print it. You are going to save it in the PayApp 2 folder. And then that's it. We're going to send it along to Jess with insurance and photos of everything. And as soon as we get that. So